No, we can try again.
Yeah.
Hello and welcome to the More Than Digital Marketing podcast, a podcast about digital marketing and so much more. I'm one of your hosts today. My name is Jack. I'm joined by the incredible
Matt. Wow, what a build-up. Yeah, and it's quite good because you can see us today.
or just hear us, depending on where you
Wow.
are.
Watch us on YouTube.
Yeah,
you can see us.
You have options now. It's great. Watch us on YouTube. Watch us on TikTok.
So many channels.
Listen to us on your podcast platform of choice. So many ways that you can actually interact with and talk to the people here at Optix. Matt, it's been ages since we've actually sat down and done a podcast together. I don't even think we've done one this year.
Not in 2024, no. Don't think so.
It could even be 6 months. It's been ages.
Mm.
But I see you every day. How you doing?
I'm doing well.
Yeah, we don't
yeah.
only talk in a podcast setting.
Yeah, we actually haven't spoken for 6 months.
No.
We only speak in this room and we've got
No.
the microphones on. Yeah, no, I'm really, really well.
How's 2024 been?
Lovely. Yeah, it's been really good. I think there's been lots of things happening out in the world. Obviously, good and bad. There's always things happening in the world. But I specifically in the digital marketing world, lots of updates, lots of consent mode conversations, lots of DMARC conversations, lots of policy updates.
Do you have a highlight of 2024 so far?
Oh, navigating consent mode.
Is that a highlight? I mean, it's always fun to learn, isn't it?
It's fun to learn. Yeah. Posy vibes.
Posy vibes. Definitely. That's the slogan for 2024 because I think we need a bit of positivity every chance that we can get.
Yeah, I think it's brought challenges, but also it's, with the challenge is an opportunity. So it's been good. It's been a learning process. It's been interesting, but yeah, ultimately, I mean, highlight's probably quite strong, but
it's a light.
It's a light.
Yeah, sure.
It's happened.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Well,
how about
it's
you?
happening.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I think probably highlight for me so far was I delivered a talk at the university to some of the marketing students there. That was really cool.
That's a genuine highlight.
That is a genuine. Sorry, I wasn't like setting you up so that I could like sneak in the fact that I was proud that I'd given a talk at the university.
Humble brag.
Yeah, a little bit.
No, that's really cool though. Yeah.
Now it makes me sound like a bit of a dick, to be honest.
Sorry.
Your highlight was consent mode, and mine was standing up and talking to people.
I was towing the digital marketing line, but yeah, So what did you talk about?
Good question. It was a couple of months ago now. I was talking about personal branding, talked about digital marketing trends, and I was also talking about a little bit about consent mode. I mean, such a highlight. How could we not talk about it?
Yeah, you can't escape it.
So yeah, that was fun, and it was nice. I was invited back for next year, which is cool. I'd like to do more talks at university. So if anyone out there is listening who has connections, contacts at various other universities around the country, and you want to hear me talk about stuff like that, I could talk about other things too.
And Jack is second to none.
There we go.
Yeah,
Thank you. Do you have an actual highlight that isn't consent mode, or is that
it's just consent mode? Yeah, that's my highlight. What's the highlight? No, it's interesting. We've delivered a lot of strategy sessions, which has been really cool.
Yeah.
Just sort of diving in a little bit. Yeah, I think I'd say that. I think we're getting to grips with lots of different moving parts. Yeah, every day's a highlight for me. It's hard to pick just one moment.
That's such a nice way of putting it. But I think if I was to, as an observer looking in, I think one of your highlights could be just all the quarterly business reviews that we've been doing. I think that's so great, and just building out the client service offering that we have here at Optix, I think is really cool. Just all the work that you're doing kind of behind the scenes and sort of like helping to transform the way that we work with clients and sort of making that better.
Good highlight.
Yeah.
Continuous improvement.
Yeah, definitely.
And, perfect. Cool.
I feel like there was a segue there into something, but it's been really crazy today. It's been a very busy day. We've got a lightning talk coming up next week, booked Tuesday morning. So that's Tuesday, the 2nd of April at 10 in the morning. It's the first event that we're doing that's a hybrid event. So it's live and, well, it's always going to be live, but it's in the office and it's also online. And so we were kind of playing around with the equipment this afternoon, trying to work out the logistics of actually doing something like that, because we've got quite comfortable delivering talks just online. So it's really exciting to have that sort of blend of having people in the office, having some people online as well. We've got about a 50-50 split, which is really cool. The added benefit of coming to the office is that we're going to give you some breakfast, which is nice. Lucy's been talking about croissants, which is really good.
Yeah.
But I mean, she always talks about them, so doesn't really factor in.
The question is, who's cooking breakfast?
Well, exactly.
Alistair.
Well, we were
On the
talking.
grill.
Yeah, he can do both.
Yeah,
He can cook and deliver a very interesting talk on AI.
Yeah. Sign up.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, sign up. Join us. It'll be a good event.
So there is a small sign-up charge. I believe it's £10, but all of the sign-up profits are going to charity. So not in our pockets, which I think is a really nice thing to do. Off the top of my head, I'm not sure which charity it is. It is because we're changing every time to support multiple charities. Sorry, clicked off. So yeah, if you like to come, I'll leave a link in the description for this podcast.
And also, to stay up to date, make sure you sign up to our email newsletter as well, and you'll hear about the lightning talks first before anyone else.
And then you could also follow us on LinkedIn because you'll hear about it there.
And then you hear about yeah. And then TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as we said at the start of this video, we're everywhere. So if you want to interact with us, talk to us, engage with us, find us on socials. The only place where we aren't actually, as a very interesting side note, is we're not on Twitter anymore, or we're not on X. We are reviewing our social media at the moment, and social media experts in the team made the decision, if that's the right way of putting it, to basically say that we shouldn't be on X, just because that's not where our audience really is at the moment, and seems to be where a lot of audiences aren't. So won't find us on X. I'm sorry to sorry to say. So segue from here, what are we going to be talking about today? The exciting world of the state of SEO.
I won't say what I said in it before we started. But yeah, the state of SEO. There's, again, like I said at the beginning, there's a lot of stuff going on. There
really is. And I think, so one thing that we've seen this year, and so this is the first episode we've had in a while where we could talk about SEO, because we've had a lot of social episodes recently. But really just the way that things are at the moment, a lot of clients have been looking at their results, and I think there has been a trend that we've seen that more and more, I guess, organic results, organic search traffic has dropped year on year. And a lot of question marks have been raised by a lot of clients asking us why. Why are we seeing less traffic to what we seen last year? We're doing a lot of work. We're working really hard. And so not in all cases, but definitely in some cases we are seeing that there is this sort of fluctuation in traffic year on year. Is that something that you've seen in some of the clients that you're working on?
Definitely. Yeah, definitely a few. And again, it seems to be a certain, as there usually is with updates, a larger impact on some than others. And again, this isn't widespread at all, but certainly those your money or your life type clients are the ones that are seemingly more heavily impacted than those that maybe don't operate in those areas. So yeah, I think that's fair to say.
I think that's, as you say, your money or your life. I think there's an element around the EAT, so the EEAT, expertise. What's the other E? I've completely forgotten it. Experience. Thank you. Authority, trust. It's, you get one of the E's, but you can't remember the other one. Yeah. So experience, expertise, authority, and trust. And it's really, I think, the websites that we're seeing are websites with a lot of content and a lot of pages are being hit more so than any other website. So essentially, the more content that you've got on your website, the more likely it is that you're ultimately going to be impacted by some of the updates that have taken place. So I guess we've been dancing around, I guess, a bit of this topic of what is the state of SEO. And the state really is just that we've had a lot of updates recently. So I'm just looking here at a list. There's an August core update There was the helpful content update that happened in September last year, October core update, the November 2023 reviews update, the November 2023 core update, and then we've recently, and we're kind of in the middle of, or right at the tail end of, the March core update, which is happening in March 2024. So basically all of these updates are happening, and I guess the question is, what does this even mean? What are we talking about when we're saying that there are core updates? And essentially it's Google is reviewing the way that it is ranking the web pages that it's indexing in its search engine. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I think so. So there are I can't remember the specific name for it, but obviously Google has a set of guidelines that it adheres to make sure that, you know, it is constantly serving up the most relevant result based on the intent of a specific search term that users are using, and that's, you know, billions per day kind of thing. I don't think it's a hyperbole to say that, you know, it probably is that figure across the world.
Could be more.
Could be more. Could be trillions.
Yeah.
Gajillions.
We can make up numbers. That's fine.
Yeah. So so this is that's essentially what it relates to, that those search ratings and how Google determines which content should essentially appear at the top for any given search term. So yeah, I think that's a fair assumption. And like you said, there are have been 6 or 7 quite significant updates in the past 12 months, and then even before that we had, you know, the helpful content update phase 1 type of thing. So there has been a lot over the past 12 to 18 months that you know, us SEOs need to be aware of, because it keeps us on our little SEO toes.
Well, exactly. And it's really just a case that all of these updates are, as you mentioned, there's the helpful content update. That was kind of the first almost domino that was Google is having a really, I guess, like close look at the content that everyone is pushing out, and, you know, trying to rank their websites using, and ultimately trying to find the best content that answers any given query that's out there. And so if somebody's searching for something on Google with any given query, the results that people want to see are going to be the results that best answer that given query. And I think that there has been probably, you know, over the past year, over 2 years, etc., you know, the history of content on the internet, people recognizing that this is a search query and this is good enough to answer that search query, where now Google's digging a little deeper into that and trying to understand, okay, this is the search query, what is the best possible answer for any given query? And a lot of these updates are really around that. So the big question and the big sort of takeaway from, I guess, this discussion is, with all of these updates, you have to look and review all of the content on your website to honestly answer, is this the best answer to a given search query? So understanding this is the query and this is the answer, and is your content answering that given query? And if it's not, then you need to fix that ultimately.
Review what you're doing. So yeah, I mean, the one thing that, you know, we would take from this, and sort of, I guess, one of the first port of calls would be content, an audit on the content. Like,
definitely,
you can check in. You know, I'm using, I guess, a mix of Google Analytics or Google Search Console. You can see how users are finding the website, finding those specific pages, and then engaging with those specific pages. And if you notice that actually you've got a big bulk of pages that people just are not engaging with, then Google's going to see that as a bit of a red flag and probably not serve that content up as much. It's obviously not providing value. So, you know, if you get high exit rates, high bounce rates, things like that, then they're sort of core, you know, prime for either updating to optimize against sort of a specific keyword, new keyword targets, or removing that content. There's no harm in removing content that is not performing well. Because
sorry to interrupt, but I think that that's something that everyone's very worried about.
Yeah.
And that was a big part of the helpful content update and things that have subsequently rolled out since, is looking at what is the content that's actually on the site. And if there's content that is not performing, it pulls down the other content that's on the site as well. So all of the content has to be performing extremely well. And if it's not, and if there's even just 1 or 2 pages, they could be dragging down the performance of the whole website.
Yeah, that's exactly it. There's no harm. You need to think holistically about the overall value that your website is providing. And I think like with AI and ChatGPT and Bard and Gemini, is it called now? The Bards maybe. Anyway,
You're living in the past.
Subtopic. With the fact that people can just produce, relatively low content very quickly with just a few prompts, it's even more important that you are providing unique, high quality content. Now, these updates, when they happen, are, it means there's a bit of volatility. But actually, if you're still adhering to the specific guidelines of creating really good, helpful, high quality content that is unique and demonstrates your expertise in a specific area, then over time you ultimately will be fine. Likewise, thinking about your offsite metrics, like the links that are pulling through. If you've got loads of spammy links, then that's going to bring your site down. So tidying that up and making sure that you've got some really good signals going into your site as well from valuable websites and things like that. Again, all of these things, just having a bit of a spring clean, a sense check is always worth doing. And actually, you'll stand in good stead then just doing that for the future. Yes, there will be fluctuations, but ultimately in the long term, you should be fine. So, ultimately these things are good to be aware of. But the best practices still mean that you should be fine in the long run, I think.
Yeah, and I guess to sort of wrap this up, we'd love to hear from you. If you feel like you've been impacted by any of these recent updates, please get in touch with us at podcast@optixsolutions.co.uk. I'd love to know your thoughts and whether you've kind of experienced some of this. Also, kind of what we do every day is looking at this and trying to support and help our clients. So if you would like some advice, if you would like to know how to perform some kind of a content audit, this could be done through the Academy, or you can just reach out to us and we can give you a hand. So either, we keep talking about this, we're everywhere.
we are everywhere.
YouTube, TikTok.
Yellow Pages.
Exactly.
Maybe not in the Yellow Pages.
Well, you could definitely find us. You can Google us. But yeah, get in touch. We'd love to give you a hand. So to quickly cover sort of a bolt-on topic to that is when we're talking about the Google updates, these core updates, there are sort of some general SEO topics, some trending SEO topics that are very much in, I don't want to say the news because it might inflate its importance, but definitely in the world of SEO and the world of digital marketing, these are things that we're talking about. So talked about AI. We've talked to death on this podcast. I think people love hearing about it, but like we said, we've got the lightning talk next week. AI is a really, we cannot escape it. And it's just a case of we need to figure out how we can use it to, in a smart way, ultimately, which is, almost a challenge. And it's not to say that the smart way isn't just putting lots of prompts into ChatGPT and copying and pasting whatever comes up and putting it onto your website. I'd say that's like you're halfway there, but it's more reviewing the way that you're using tools like ChatGPT and how are you implementing it into your business and how are you streamlining processes. So I think that AI is going to have an impact on SEO, and we just need to be kind of like at the forefront to sort of understand how to best use it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that, like we said about sort of the content and how you use it, that's one example, but it's thinking about how it enhances your life, makes it a bit easier for you, but in the right ways.
Yeah, definitely. Because if we go back to what we were just saying, if you're going to use ChatGPT to create content and put it on your website, you're going to get flagged as having content that is not particularly useful or helpful. And as a whole, your website traffic is going to be impacted. So making sure that whatever content you're putting on your website is going to be helpful, useful, and answer whatever query it is that you're trying to answer at the end of the day. We also have EAT, as we talked about, as another trending topic. So EAT being expertise, experience, authority, and trust. And really this just comes down to trust signals on the website. So if you have expertise, if you have experience, then you'll be seen to be authoritative and trustworthy in the space that you operate in. So whatever you can do ultimately.
Yeah, I think, an example of that are things like meet the team pages, demonstrate your experience, link out to, your professional network. Like if you're on LinkedIn, for example, or, add things like reviews to your website, make it really clear, shout about what you're good at, why you're good at it, how your clients have found you, working with you, things like that. All of those kind of things are really good metrics. And again, like we said, the more that you can demonstrate that kind of thing, the more that you are going to look like, you are an expert in a specific field. And
it's almost as well, like if you're writing this stuff around with almost at the heart of it, having the EEAT or EAT, if you're having that at the heart of everything you write, then you're not going to trip up on the helpful content or on the sort of being flagged for being low level, poor content from the AI perspective, because you're bringing that expertise, experience, and the authority and trust to everything that you're doing. So it's going to be of a high quality, and so you should not be impacted by any of these updates ultimately. SGE, we love an acronym.
I really I fall over this every time, so I'm going to give it a go, but
all right,
slowly.
Sorry, I feel like I've just thrown you under the bus now.
Search generative experience.
Lovely. SGE.
So this is just, this is bringing AI into the search engine results pages essentially.
Is this something that you've seen, or is it something that is still kind of like being tested?
I think it's still in beta. I don't know how widespread. I don't know how widely available it is. Certainly when I was looking at it before, it was sort of only available in the US. But there's certainly people that it has been rolled out to, and it will probably become, as with anything, it will get tested. It maybe remains in beta for a little while, and then it will sort of slowly find its way into the real world, the wider world. But essentially, this is it's another block at the top of Google that you type in a query, it serves up some content based on your search, but in a more sort of intuitive, dynamic way, and then it sort of guides you through a specific journey based on sort of what it thinks might then come next from your search. So you could type in a recipe for something, and then it will say like, oh, how best to serve this, or all that kind of stuff. That's a really basic example, but it's more of a it's an AI-led way of serving content to you, and it will mean that there are fewer opportunities, especially above the fold, to get your like organic listing visible. So again, the importance of content that's likely going to be picked up, so unique, really good links, all those kind of things are probably going to help you, but it's just going to be more competitive, I think, because there's going to be fewer opportunities to see your brand in the search engine results pages.
I think that was a very good explanation.
we need a screenshot on the screen, but it's well, if you search generative experience, you'll see it. You'll see it in action, kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely. And then the final point is links. I wouldn't say this is necessarily trending. Having links is not a trending topic.
Is this new? This is a new SEO thing, isn't it? Links?
Yeah, having links. There are these things called internal links.
Oh my god.
External links.
Oh my god.
Inbound, outbound. I mean, there are so many different names for them as well.
Yeah. What a novelty.
But links are really important, and especially links from other websites that are high authority websites. So authoritative websites that link back to yours are essentially a trust signal to say, from our website to this website, we think that this is a good quality website with some good quality information. And the more websites that are linking to your website, and the more high authority websites that are linking to your website, are going to have a very positive impact on the visibility of your site. So something that you should definitely be working on. But all these things work in tandem, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's also worth noting it's definitely a quality over quantity thing when it comes to links. And also there's, the proportion of then referring domains as well as, to backlinks, and, you want to build up the amount of different domains that are linking to your site, as well, because that's, you get more signals. It's like more people in a group saying how good something is, really.
Ideal. Well, I think that's going to wrap us up for another week. It was a very quick episode this week, but we did want to talk about the March update because we haven't actually talked about it this month, and it's the end of the month. So, all these algorithms, well, the Google core updates are always rolling out. And that's, I guess, why it's so important to be on top of all of your SEO, because kind of if you're sleeping on it and you miss these updates, or if you're not sort of making changes in line with these updates and being aware that these updates are coming and happening and taking place, then there's a risk that you get left behind. And I think that that's some of the things that we're seeing with some of the clients that we're working with, where they are being impacted because, yeah, maybe they haven't been as on it as maybe they should have been.
Yeah. But no, it's a good topic, my favorite topic. Yeah, if you need any support, then you know where to find us. Everywhere.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much, Matt. Have a great afternoon.
You too.
Have a great weekend.
Thanks
It's a
very
long
much.
weekend, so this is going to be coming out on Friday. So enjoy the
nice.
Easter weekend, and yeah, bye.
Perfect timing. Bye.